Let's jump on over to our iOS. We're on Zetsu's account. So, level 291, so kind of an older account. We got VIP 7, getting close to VIP 8, not too bad. So, a very light spender overall for how long he's been playing. That's not bad at all. Looking good. Resources are looking good. We have Crystals of Transcendence piling up. We even have some cores sitting here. Ooh, and an artifact selection chest. And some spheres. I'm liking this account. This definitely looks like a late game, end game account that needs a transition to kind of figure out what the meta heroes are going to be for this account. A lot of food too. Not many copies. You got a couple 4Cs. All right, let's check it out. I'm sure you have a lot of these sea lands done. Isn't this just the textbook of Sealand lately? 2020, 2020, 2020, 2020, 2020, Abyss is the bottomless abyss. Nobody's got it done because nobody wants to build an Abyss hero that's actually good in it because all Abyss heroes suck. So, let's see. Looks like you were in the process of trying to build a team up. So, I mean, I wouldn't... It's hard to say. Because getting all Sealand 20s done is very, very good, especially if you are looking to get all the bonuses done here. It's 30% more damage against Fortress heroes in the Void. I guess you don't come across too many Fortress in Vortex. Really, the big ones to do are... Where are they? You want to make sure you get Light Sealand done so you do more damage against carries. And you want to make sure you get... Which is it? Shadow Faction. Shadow Faction gives damage against Force, which is really important against Garudas. So, yeah, but Abyss heroes suck so much. I agree, Zetsu. And, of course, you need all of them done in order to actually do more damage against Transcendent, but I don't think we actually face any Transcendents yet. I'm not sure. Doesn't those boosts work only in Realms Gate? No. So, one thing a lot of people confuse, if you read it, to increase the damage against Forest Void opponents by 30%, in Gate of the Void. You know what Gate of the Void is? This right here. Gate of the Void is everything in here, which means it includes Void Arc as well for the PvP battles, I assume. Actually, you know what? Hold on. The bosses are Transcendence? Yeah, that's a good point, Pen. Good point. Does Void Arc PvP, does that actually count then? Since technically you're fighting other heroes, do you do more damage if you have the Sealands done? That would be interesting to test and note, but I don't know. Void Lord battles, yeah, that'll help too. Let's take a look at the heroes though. We got a lot of E5s. We have a... Wow, we got a lot of E3 and E2s. That's a lot of projects going on. And I guess we kind of have to first talk about Zetsu's. What is your main goal here? I'm curious about making my team stronger in Void fights, though. So Ignis was just curious about her. Well, you already have 1 tick, so that's a good start. Let's take a look at the heroes while he replies there. We got a Kiss a Ghost. I feel like a lot of people do this. They don't quite have all the 10 stars to get the V1 nodes, but they just put enough in there because it's very cheap to do those nodes, and it does enhance your team's power. Belrain, yeah, she's kind of a thing of the past. Are you actually considering building the light hero from scratch? Doesn't look like it. Are you actually considering swapping a hero then? Because you do have the scrolls to go for Tussi, if she's good, I imagine. I stopped with E2 once Sealands were done. Okay, so you kind of like built them as far as you needed them. We got a couple carries. We have a 2-star AMB and a Demon Bell, not bad. We have an Amun Ra with energy, Rogan with energy, 2-star Antlers, 1-star Rui, which is decent. Regular Punisher Staff, that's probably the next thing that probably needs an upgrading, especially if you're looking to get stronger in Void fights in general, especially in Vortex. Crown, and then probably randomness. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Probably just random stuff on everybody else. So, where do we take this? That is the big question here. So if Void is your biggest concern, and you're not really concerned about Abyss Sealand, which you probably shouldn't, you have Tower done. Oh, you don't have Tower done. Really? Really? That's interesting. I'm surprised with a team like this. The question is, how many baby ticks do you have? Got 3 of them. We can try doing it. We can see if this works. Have you guys seen the method to get past the MIMS? We can just give it a quick try, honestly. You even have a Michelle already. So there's one easy way to, well, I wouldn't say easy, but there is a way to get past these MIM levels with a bit of a cheese. We don't quite have what we need, but it's really, really close. And it's a setup very much like this. I don't know if there's another hero. Honestly, you could probably throw like, I don't know if anybody else really synergizes with this. But the Mim Tower is really hard, especially if you don't have your Delacium Illyria set up to kind of cheese it. I don't know who to put in the last spot, honestly. I'm not sure. Let's do that. Let's throw in the Phoenix. So let's just see how the battle looks like this. Usually what you do with your Tixes is you kind of want to get to the point where you have a bunch of baby Tixes and they all die. So hopefully there's a chain reaction on deaths in round 2. And then the Michelle comes back. That did not work at all. Hold on. Wait, why did the Michelle not resurrect? Did I miss something? Oh, that's why. Because we're not getting an active off. Silly Barry. What am I doing? I forgot. We need to get an active off. That's going to be a problem. Evaporated. Yeah, so essentially you need to get the active off for your big ticks here. I mean, you want to have an upgraded Punisher as well to really destroy them, but you do need energy, I think, on all the ticks. But there is a way to do it, and that's essentially the lineup you're going to use is one really strong ticks with 4 baby ticks and a Michelle. Hopefully when you use the active, it kills off all the ticks. The ticks end of round damage ticks off. Hopefully one of them dies on top of that, deals damage to the other Mims as well. The Michelle revives and you win the battle. It's not exactly easy, but it is a way to get it to work. So with enough smashes, you should be able to get past that. I mean, I do see you also have a Horus in the works here. Maybe V5 with like full imprints has a chance. Nick says, I did it easy with a V2 plus Russell, Critstone, and Dragon Pet. Full team of carries, lowest HP cog on Punisher on Russ. Or cog or Punisher on Russ. Interesting. That's another way you can get around it too. Just burst them all down with a good old Russell active just because he is so strong when you put void imprints on him. But yeah, as far as that goes, that's that. You do have the 2 extra copies for 4Cs. You got a lot of heroes that aren't for endgame though. Should I build Horus? I stopped when I cleared Sealand Shadow. I mean, so here's the problem. You already have that Horus, but you already started building a Tix. This is why I hate building 9-star heroes that you're not going to just 10-star and immediately build. Honestly, on all my accounts, I don't even start building a hero unless I know I'm taking them to E5 immediately. Like, it's just, it feels like a lot of wasted resources just floating around here. The first question I need to ask you, Zetsu, is what is your plan for 2C? Are you swapping like either Ada or Belrain? Are you planning to try to build her from scratch? What is your plan? And this is why projects, having too many projects really muddles everything up for you. It makes everything murky. It makes your decisions very difficult. I mean, if Vortex is the way to go for you, you definitely want the second Tix. You definitely want a second 10-star Ignis for energy feeding. I'm thinking of swapping Ada. That would probably be the best idea. Swapping her and then just building her up with the rest. That's probably going to be your best bet. Yeah, I mean, out of this Ada, Horus, Ithaca, they're all kind of like, you don't really need them. The other thing we have to focus on is, of course, Aspen Dungeon. You're not to 100 yet. So as far as that artifact selection chest goes, chances are I am probably going to say there's 2 options and only 2 options. Number 1 is get a Punisher staff to upgrade the Tix Punisher of Immortal to level 1-star glittery. The other option, of course, is finish upgrading this AMB to 3-star. What type of relics do you have right now? 588. Have you already done Glorious Boost. No. So what I would do most likely, two things. Number one, from Glorious Boost, I would most likely buy your last AMB, upgrade this to 3MB, and then I'd probably use that artifact selection chest to start upgrading your Punishers. If Vortex and Void is your most important thing, this what you want to push, you absolutely need an upgraded Punisher staff, and then you're also going to need a bunch of Demon Bell. So right now you have what? One Demon Bell. I think only one, right? Yeah, so there's two things that need to happen in here. Number one is, of course, upgraded Punisher, preferably all the way up to the max, but even before that, you need two Demon Bells, two splendid Demon Bells for energy feed. So essentially what you want to do is you want to put Demon Bells on your fastest heroes that go before your ticks, and then you have things like the upgraded Punisher staff on one of your two ticks. They get to get around one active. That does a ton of damage. Then Ignis is in the slot next to them. They die because they're only a 10-star. They feed that energy for around 2 active on ticks as well. And you just keep going. Because if you don't win fights within like the first couple rounds in Vortex, you're just really screwed. So you need to decide, because if you go the A and B route, the A and B route is going to help you finish Aspen Dungeon, which getting a 350 is going to be a huge benefit for your account. Besides that, though, you just have a lot of artifacts you need. That's the biggest thing. And this is kind of what I usually call a late game account versus an end game account. Is late game, you have a ton of heroes, but you really don't have the right artifacts. You don't have everything maxed out yet. You still have a lot of projects you have to work towards. Whereas end game, it's like, oh yeah, just, build this one hero, swap this artifact around, you're good. But you have to decide. You have to pick what you want to go for first. If Aspen Dungeon is your most important thing, then I would probably consider upgrading A and B to 3-star. But even at that, this more of a PvP aspect. Getting a Tix and upgraded Punisher, no matter what, whether you're talking about Aspen Dungeon, Vortex, Tower of Oblivion, upgraded Punisher is going to be the best bang for your buck. You want those. Number 2 is probably going to be starting to get A and Bs, but A and B is going to take a while. You have one A and B. You need at least like 6 to 7 more. That's going to be a long haul project. Nothing that's going to happen anytime like immediately soon. So yeah, I mean, those are the two big things. And then what I would also work on is trying to get more Ignis copies and build a second 10-star, mainly just for that death. When she dies, she will heal the nearest hero and give 100% of the allies max HP, and increase the allies energy by 100% and control immunity by 100%. Those are the two most important things. But Demon Bells are going to be, what did I say, A and B again? I meant, thanks, chat. You guys know what I mean. You know what I mean. We need Demon Bells. We need at least 6 to 7 more Demon Bells, not AMBs, Demon Bells to push in Vortex. So I think that's something I'll work on a video as well, is showing like the optimal setup for pushing in Vortex and what you need and what your goals need to be. Inosuke, Ithaca, Horus, are they worth it for me to keep? If you want to build like a Delacium army, then sure, keep the Ithaca. If you don't care about a Delacium army for PvE, she's regressible, honestly. You can regress her. Horus. Hi, Mika. Horus is another one. He's just kind of, he's fodder. I wouldn't necessarily keep Ithaca and Horus around. Ithaca I would keep around if you want to try to build a Delacium army with like a couple 10-star Delaciums. That will work if you want to hit those like super high damage numbers in PvE. Inosuke I would keep though, because he has a lot of uses in the Void. He definitely does. Ada I would swap out. Besides that, everything else is looking pretty good. The biggest thing on this account is maybe regressing a couple of those kind of food style heroes, and then start collecting, number 1, Punisher staffs. You want to try to get to a 3-star splendid Punisher staff, and then you want to start collecting a ton of Demon Bells. A and B is more of a side project. A and B would be if you want to focus more on PvP and potentially have a Russell do really strong things in like Aspen Dungeon. But even then, you have the Sherlock with the Rui already. So do you need to get an A and B for him? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Yeah, Mika's crying. She's like, Dad, I need some attention. But yeah, I mean, artifacts is the number one thing that this account definitely needs to work on. And that's a long haul project because relics, this is exactly why relics only are used for artifacts. Little asterisk, unless you're building your first E5 and then you start saving them again. So